Yeah, hello, my people. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. My name is Chinedu Anichi, your one and only celebrity CSO, and this is Chinedu Anichi TV, streaming live from St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America, and the African voice in diaspora. Wow, 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 wow. 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh my God. Yes, my people, we are seriously here bringing to you back to back educative contents. And today we'll be featuring one of our brothers who has paid his dues when it comes to students' unionism and comes to youth organizational involvement and exercise and events in Nigeria. And today we're going to bring him up for you to hear from him, his experience, his aspirations, and what contributions he has done in National Association of Nigerian Students. And today we'll be having Comrade Muhammad Abubakar. Comrade Muhammad Abubakar will be on this show live and direct. And as I speak with you, I am going to invite to this show Comrade Muhammad Abubakar. Comrade Muhammad Abubakar is a brother and he will explain himself when he comes up here. Comrade, you're welcome.
Very much. Good evening, my people. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, Nigerian students. My name is Mahmoud Abubakar, the director of FCT to the president of NONS, and a one-time national president of all colleges of education students, a one-time director of special duties, National Association of Nigerian Students FCT chapter. It's a great privilege and honor to be on this show today. Thank you.
Yeah, Comrade Mohammed, you have been this, you have been that, you have been that. When it comes to students' unionism, we will thank you and we encourage you. But today, I invited you to this show. You did not invite yourself. So, what comes to your mind as you are in this show? What goes in your mind like 2 and 4?
The only thing that came to my mind is that is an avenue to let the whole world know that Nigerian students are well represented. Nigerian students are enjoying all sorts of opportunity, and an avenue to also tell our people to be calm and be patient and be focused on whatsoever thing they are doing. So, hooray! We are glad to be here.
Wow. Comrade, thank you. I like your courage. I like your outspokenness. I like your demeanor. This is the kind of people we want to host in this show. So I like your energy. And before we go on, Comrade, you did not just grow up to become coordinator of all College of Education in Nigeria, or chief of staff, or director of FCT to the NAS president. You did not just from nowhere. There was a story that gave birth to this glory. Can we share a little of your beginning? How it looked like?
Thank you very much, sir. My journey to unionism started right from primary school, because I will say I've been an activist right from my primary school days, because I hate seeing people being cheated. I hate seeing people being molested. So anywhere I find myself, I make sure as young as I am that time, as little as I am that time, I fight If I see you talking to my elder brother anyhow, I will rush you and start stoning you. That's from the young age. Rising to my secondary school age, I for my classroom, I became a class monitor. Because of my conscious of time, I became the time prefect of my school. So immediately after secondary school, when I get to FCT College of Education, Zuba, Abuja, I was a computer science student in the college there. So right from my department, anytime I see any lecturer trying to do what is not right, I take it upon myself and say, no, this thing must stop. This is not why we are here. Gradually, my people called upon me and said, come and be our Assistant Secretary General in the Faculty of Science in the college. Because of somebody that feel that is an avenue to showcase whatsoever talent, and is an avenue to make sure you defend the interests of your colleagues and those that are looking up to you. I took up the challenge and I become the Assistant Secretary General of my faculty. Immediately after finishing Assistant Secretary General of my faculty, they still call upon me that come and become the president of our department. And that was how I rose and become the president of my department, which is the computer science department. And immediately I became the president of my department. I realized there are a lot of lacunas in the department. And immediately I took it upon myself to make things work. And I successfully changed the name of my department. Then what they were using was COSAN, that's Computer Science Student Association of Nigeria. I took it upon myself to get the national body of the computer science student, which is NACOS. And for the first time in the history of FCT College of Education in Abuja here, I brought the national leadership of all computer science students all over the country. I brought them to that college. And during that period, the school was duly registered under the national body of the computer science department. I still didn't stop there. The hackathon competition that happened in Imo then, for the first time, I took my college, my colleague, my students down to Imo State for hackathon competition, in which, to the glory of God, we came out in flying colors. My school came under the category that came first. At the same time, another category that came third. So it was a big success. And immediately, even before finishing the departmental president, the National Association of Nigerian Students FCT chapter come on board and they say that this is the kind of people we wanted. And they call upon me and I took it. I took that challenge and let's take the gospel of student unionism out of our college and take it to the entire Federal Capital Territory. And that was when I contested to be Director of Special Duties of NANS FCT, which I won. Fast forward, after finishing Director of Special Duty of NANS FCT, I took it upon myself to join other colleagues to be pioneer executives that started the National Association of Nigerian Colleges of Education Students, which was an umbrella body that governed the entire student studying in entire college of education in Nigeria. Then almost the colleges we have in Nigeria, we are 170 something, both public and private. And I was part of the pioneer executives before rising to become the national president of all colleges of education students. It was not happening by magic. It was happening out of passion, resilience, doggedness, and ability to make change, and readiness to make change. And since then, we have been actively involved in all student and youth activities in Nigeria. And by the grace of God, I would like to inform you as well that in the forthcoming National Convention of NANS coming up in February, I'm also an aspirant for the position of the national president of the entire Nigerian students studying both home and diaspora. And my mantra, I call it Exploration 2025. When we get to that, I will say more on that. Thank you.
Yeah, Comrade Muhammad Abubakar, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because of the way you articulatively rose from the grassroots to where you are now. So, and what I noticed from what you're doing is there's a qualitative representation, and that's why people have always called you upon to serve. That's so wonderful. But considering that you have been growing from this to that, what can you say is the most challenging aspect of Nigerian students from your experience?
Thank you very much. I think, from my experience, the only challenge Nigerian students are having is communication gap. When we have the right channel to channel our issues to, without any rancor, without any riot, without any protest, we'll always be having our issues solved. I always believe in dialogue. That is why I must commend the current leadership of NANS. And the leadership of NANS under Comrade Lucky Monofe wouldn't have been successful if there is no listening leader in the country. Whether we like it or not, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually a big success to Nigerian students. Under this same administration, when Nigerian students cried about hike in school fees, and we have a working NANS president, and we have a listening president, the issues were able to reach the table of the president of the country. And the president, during a Federal Executive Council meeting, give a directive that every increment in our institution should be reversed. He didn't stop there. We all know the economic challenges we are facing in the country. The president went ahead and announced the student loan. Whether we like it or not, a lot of students were beneficiaries of this student loan in the first phase, which is a continuous process. And for those of us that are privileged to have gone out of this country once or twice, we understand that even in the developed country, their children go to school under the student loan scheme. You go to school under student loan scheme in such a way that you have no excuse not to go to school. And introducing that in Nigeria is just like lifting burden from our parents. And when burden are being lifted on our parents on looking for every way to pay school fees, a lot of things, to me, even the economy of the country will be boosted, because the attention of the parent will shift from looking for school fees for students. They will rather shift to growing their own immediate environment, immediate community, and immediate state. So you have no excuse not to go to school. All this we are achieved because students were able to communicate their issues, students were able to communicate their challenges, and we have listening government that listen and quickly switch into action on the challenges of the students. So what I always see as experience, with my experience, is that communication gap between the student, the management, and most especially the government. So when you have a challenge in your school and you have who to report to, and that challenge we are being attended to with immediate effect, I don't think any student in this country will have challenge. And when we talk of insecurity in some parts of the country, we also say that currently it's been long we have record of kidnapping in any of our campuses. It is for us to know that the cry of the students have been listened to, the yearning have been listened to, and security apparatus we are up and doing to make sure that our campuses are safe. So when we don't have communication gap, all our challenges will be resolved. When you have the right channel to channel your issues to, and that right channel we have been giving serious follow-up. All little challenges, all educational challenges will be adhered to and attended to with immediate effect. Kudos to our lecturers. For more than a year now, we didn't hear anything called strike. It's also as a result of the up and doing of every stakeholder in education to make sure that we don't have breakage in anything called education. We have conducive environment, we have secure environment. So just as I said, we only have communication gap, and which this gap has been covered in recent time, and it will continue to be covered until all our students are living in the standard environment, all our students have conducive environment, all our lecturers, we are being well taken care of. So to me, it's just the communication gap that was the challenge that I see, which I can beat my chest today and say that the communication gap has been covered. Of recent, the federal government still presented some CNG buses to Nigerian students to ease transportation challenge. All this are gradual process to tell us that we are getting there and we are getting it right. Thank you.
Wow, that's massive. Yeah, that's great, Comrade Mohammed, and well articulated. I want to thank all those people. Obi Cargo Logistics, Viable TV. Please share this live video on your pages and let's see how many people were here. Laziko Ikoro, welcome, and all of you. Those of you on Instagram, I welcome you. Those watching from YouTube, I welcome you also. So I can't mention all your names, but moving on, comrade.
Yes, sir.
One of the issues we have noticed recently, or that is predominant, or predominantly militating against the progress of NANS, is faction and factionalization. So, how do you intend to handle or to reduce to a barest minimum, even if it cannot be completely eradicated, the issue of faction? Because there was a time during CHINEDU, we had like 4 NANS presidents and 4 Senate presidents of NANS. So what will you do? What is your plan to make sure that this thing will not resurface again?
Sir, during CHINEDU, we don't have faction in NANS. We only have Bamidele as the NANS president, and when there were some financial misconduct, the student populace impeached him through Zoom, which make CHINEDU to become the acting president of NANS. And to the glory of God, the current Senate president of NANS have lifted the suspension of the then president, which is Dele Bamidele Akpan. And today, Dele Bamidele Akpan is also a former NANS president. And issue of factions, sir, I will say that we don't always have faction in NANS. It's of recent, from Bamidele, no faction, Usman Umar Barambu, no faction, Sunday Adedayo Ashraf, who happened to be the current SSA, workaholic SSA to the president on student engagement. We don't have faction. Yeah, I would say it's just currently that we may be saying that we have faction, but to me, it's not even faction. Because when you have one very active president that is up and doing, going up and down to make sure the issues and the challenges of Nigerian students are being listened to. So issue of faction, the only to me, I believe all our cadres and stakeholders of NANS, we are doing everything possible to eradicate it. And the only way we can eradicate it totally is when we have unity of purpose. And it is that unity of purpose that we will make sure we achieve in NANS. When we all speak the same language, we all speak the same thing. As far as we all know we are fighting the same cause, We don't have any reason to faction. Rather, join the legitimate leadership and do everything you want to do. The only purpose is to make sure the welfare of Nigerian students were well taken care of. So as far as we are fighting the same cause, we are defending the same interests, we are agitating for the same set of people, there is no cause for any sort of faction. So as I said, we will make sure we will make sure we are united. We'll make sure we are united in everything. We'll make sure we carry along every strata of NANS, every arm of NANS. When everybody is duly carried along, and the whole thing they have to do with, for nobody will even think about it, because just as we have now, we have Comrade Kemonofi as the president of NANS, Akite Abatunde as the Senate president, and all over the country, we know those are the legitimate leadership of NANS. So, and when we have unity of purpose, I think we will all achieve the same thing. I cannot do what, just as Mother Teresa said, that I cannot do what you can do, you cannot do what I can do, but together we can achieve greatness. So I think together we will achieve the entire aim of NANS with unity of purpose.
Okay, due respect, Comrade Mohammed Abubakar, I have hosted some other NANS, former NANS presidents, former Senate president of NANS, and even the incumbent president of NANS. I've hosted them here, and they clearly in this show acknowledge that their faction is one of the big problems of NANS. The way you water it down, as if I was a former, I was director of security, conflict resolution, and crisis management during 21 years. I was a NANS to Dan Onje, radical brother, MUHAMED. I'm a NANS comrade, and I know that faction. Even as we are talking, we know that Lucky is the legitimate president of NANS. But as we are talking, we still have somebody who parades himself within his own axis as NANS president. So this is a reality show, and we should be able to address certain things the way it is. So the truth is that we know that factionalization is a problem in NANS. And my question to you is, what do you think you will do if eventually God helps you become president? What will you do to reduce it to the nearest barest minimum, or even entirely eradicate it? For you to say it doesn't exist and water it down is a problem, because we know it exists.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. I'm not denying the fact that it doesn't exist. Yes, faction exists.
I don't want to paint you black. You didn't deny. The only thing is that you watered it down. I said you watered it down because my choice of you are a candidate for an election, and I don't really want to say something that people will look at as if you are lying. No. You watered it down. You didn't deny that it's not exist, but you watered it down. But myself, I'm not watering it down, and others who came before you, they never watered it down. They believed it's really a challenge.
Thank you very much, sir. Just to your question, that what will I do to reduce it to the barest minimum? I have this plan. I have what I call what I plan to do immediately I emerge as the president of NANS, by the grace of God. What I call NANS National Stakeholders Dialogue. When I said NANS National Stakeholders Dialogue, it will be an avenue whereby everybody that have to do with NANS, both those in political office, including somebody like you, sir, will be invited down to a stakeholder dialogue where we will all streamline the entire challenges of NANS, and we will all together channel a way forward. This is what have never been done in NANS before. when the president of NANS hold a national stakeholders dialogue, you are not denying the fact that there is no challenges. You are not denying the fact that faction is not disturbing us. But yes, you accept it as a challenge. And you are inviting everybody, let us all sit down and channel a way forward on how to eradicate it totally. So I think if we achieve that, it will help extremely to eradicate it to the barest minimum. And at the same time, you will have what you call reward system for both the stakeholders, for both those you contested together with, and maybe eventually they didn't emerge. When you have what you call reward system to get everybody engaged, sir. When our stakeholders are engaged, they will not have time to support any faction. When your co-contestant is well rewarded and well appreciated, he will not even have the thought of declaring faction. And all that is why I call my mantra exploration. Let us explore every single opportunity in NAS for the benefit of NAS, for the benefit of the student populace, for the benefit of our stakeholders, for the benefit of your executives. So when you explore every opportunity, you have, every opportunity in NAS, you will see that issue of faction will be totally eradicated or reduced to the barest minimum. Thank you, sir.
Wow, thank you, my brother. Thank you. I love the approach you gave it now because one of the things that when a problem is discovered, it is half solved, and one of the things I like in young people who really want to create impact in leadership is trying to be innovative, trying to bring things that have not been existing. You understand? And you see, a trial of it can really bring remedy. Like this issue of national NAS dialogue, I think is something that should be encouraged. And if eventually, even if you did not win election or you win election, make sure that the next president, that's one of the things that happen in Africa. So just because if you have an idea, if you did not win, the idea will die with you, and the other person will not like to take it because it's your idea. You understand? But the way I'm looking at that idea, whether you emerge as NAS president or another person that has the interest of NAS at heart, if he borrows that idea, I know it will bring a positive result. Yeah. So in Nigeria, who can we say, just in Nigeria, who do you think or who is your role model? It can be an
in Nigeria.
It can be a politician, it can, or outside Nigeria, anywhere. Who is your role model? Like somebody you are looking at and say, I'm praying to God that one day I will be like this man or I'll be more than this man.
One of my role model politically is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Wow.
And the reason is not far-fetched. When you look at the history of Mr. President, he was a total grassrooted human being, and is somebody that don't just take decision, he take his time to calculate. And one thing I love about him mostly is a zeal to build people around him. Don't just give people fish, teach them how to fish. And when you are teaching them how to fish, also be there to be a guide to them. Whether we like it or not, the people he has built over the years stood by him when he was contesting. When you want to call yourself a successful person, is not how many cars you have gathered. It's not how many houses you have built. It's not how many billions or trillions you have in your account. But when you look at your back and you see the number of people you have impacted positively, then you can look at yourself and say, I am a successful person. So go and when you read the history of Bola Ahmed Tinubu right from 99 till when he became president, over 30 years of planning, building, executing, everything. And for the fact that when the whole nation was in was more of a one-party system, he stood by his own ideology and said, I will never join you in that party. If I will remain alone in ACN, in AD, I will remain alone there. When amalgamation came, he joined the amalgamation and he never joined those that have been ruling before. That is sincerity of purpose. When you want to take decision, take it and stand by it. When you don't like what they are doing there, stay where you are. But anywhere you are, try to be the change you always want to see. So I took him as my role model because of his doggedness, his courage, his boldness in decision making, and his zeal to make people and turn people from nothing to something. If you observe very well, that is the same spirit that he has already imbibed into his son, Sheyi Tinubu. That's why he's popularly called the King of Boys, because he take people from that are children of nobody and make them somebody. If you look at the appointment of young people in this current cabinet, you realize that you will not see those young people name in any political offices before. You will not see their name as name of son of Ibrahim Adamasi Babangida, son of Obasanjo, son of prominent people. They are those young chaps that believe and have desire to make change. And all this is being achieved because of that spirit of building. So that is why I took him as my role model.
Well, thank you for taking, according to you, the role model. Your role model politically is President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Congratulations to you. And this takes me to the recent happening around Sheikh Tinubu, just like you said. There's a group that came up to say, a youth group that came up to say, we are endorsing um, um, comrade. Will I say comrade? I don't know how to address it. Sheikh Tinubu, just in all simplified form, to be the next governor of Lagos State. Did you see that publication?
Yes, I saw it.
So, what is your reaction as a announced and unauthorized entity? What is your reaction? Or what do you think that motivated those young men to come from that dimension?
Thank you very much, sir. I believe the only motivation there is that spirit of building. If you look at those youth group that are endorsing the King of Boys for governorship of Lagos State, when you check all of them, you will realize that he has impacted their life positively, one way or the other, without knowing them from anywhere, without knowing them from inception, without them being the children of the riches and millionaires. So, and when we are talking of generational shift, me and you will agree that Barrister Sheyi Tinubu is already ripe to hold a political office. And no matter the change you are desiring to see, you cannot effect that change from outside. You have to be inside to make sure you effect that change. And Sheikh Tinubu, even without being the governor or anything, has been impacting into the lives of young men, women across the country, not only Lagos State. So we believe that him being a political office holder and a big office like a governor, a lot of lives will be affected positively. And with what he has been doing, he is doing it without expecting anything in return. He's doing it because he felt he's in a position to do. He believed he have, so he should give. Him giving doesn't reduce anything from him. Him not giving will not make his wealth to be increasing, but him giving will increase his blessing and everything. And he will be able to look back tomorrow and say that I have impacted positively into the life of many. So the youth group endorsing him for governorship are not making mistakes, sir. All of us will stand tall to support him if the King of Boys decide that tomorrow he wants to run for governorship of Lagos. Some of us will even transfer our voters card from our state back to Lagos State to go and make sure he emerges as the governor of the state. So to me, it's a round peg in a round hole.
Wow, this is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. Okay, thank you, Comrade Mohammed. My people, you've heard from Comrade Mohammed that if today Sheikh Tinubu decide to run for the governor of Lagos State, that many people from the youth constituency will transfer their voters card to Lagos because he has impacted positively in their life. So, thank you. But what do you think for the father of Sheyi being the president of Nigeria? Sheyi eventually becomes the governor of. How do you think other people, apart from the youth constituency that is in, that's on the receiving side of his positive impactation, how would you think they will feel or their reaction?
Uh, Sir, we are not talking about individual. We are not talking about who is there. We are talking about competence. We are talking about having idea to deliver. We Nigerians are not concerned about who is in power, but what that person in power is bringing to the table. So if we are talking about competence, we are talking about the readiness, we are talking about ability to deliver. Somebody like Sheikh Tinubu have even displayed it, even without being governor, that he can deliver. He has displayed that he can control and manage whatsoever crisis and situation, no matter how it's coming. We can see how well he's managing even with the youth of this country today, and making sure everybody is okay, and making sure the country is in order. So we don't mind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu being the president and Sheikh Tinubu being the governor of Lagos State. All we are after is competency and ability to deliver. So Nigerians will
Wow.
definitely understand.
Yes. Competency and ability to deliver. That is what is driving the youth constituency when they say Sheikh Tinubu can go for governorship of Lagos State. Thank you, Mohammed. Mohammed, let's come back to NAS again. The pre-convention is coming soon, and the convention. You know, there's always issues of insecurity and a very kind of chaotic ending of conventions that has trained lands since history. So with this kind of leadership we have now, do you think something different will happen in the conventions that is coming? The conventions that are coming, the two of them, the pre-convention and the main convention. Do you think something different will happen from the bars bulls we used to hear when mass conventions are coming up?
Uh, I believe year in, year out, we we learn. Year in, year out, we have new experience. Year in, year out, our security apparatus develop new techniques to handle the issue of NAS. And pre-convention, I can say categorically that we are going to have an hinge-free pre-convention. Every security apparatus in this country are already on their toes, and they are aware that Nigerian students will be traveling down to Lagos. Lagos state government are aware that they are receiving the entire country in the state. So our security, we are already at alert. And most importantly, I can tell you that our students, we are being oriented every day on how to condone themselves. So I can tell you that the convention will be one of the sweetest and most peaceful activity of NANS in recent time, because day in, day out, NANS meet with security leadership, the DSS, the police, the army, to make sure that we we have everything to be hinge free. There won't be any both for the student going to Lagos, both for the student that will come down to Abuja for the national convention. The security will be will be top notch, both within the students, both the national securities. We take our time to give orientation to our students even before you leave your state to go to anywhere. When we change our mindset, we will do things differently. And changing of mindset is what NANS is doing now. Orientation and reorientation, orientation and reorientation every day, every time, anywhere we find ourselves. So I believe we'll have something totally different from the gas boost we always have. This year will be gas boost free. There will not be gas boost this time around, with all the arrangement that is already on pipeline. So I can assure you that by the grace of God.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you briefly say one or two things in a very summarized form, what you can bring to the table? Let me borrow your language. If eventually, God's willing, after the convention in Abuja, you emerge as NAS president.
Um, just as I said earlier on, what I want to make sure is, first, our primary aim of being the leaders of NANS, which is to make sure our students have conducive teaching and learning environment. To make sure if our semester is to be 8 months, is 8 months. To make sure if you are to graduate in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you graduate in 4, 5 in your specified year without strike. We are very happy that under this administration, we have not had anything like ASU strike. We've not had anything like ASU strike. We've not had anything like ASU strike. That we will make sure we maintain. And most importantly, as I said, we will make sure every of our stakeholders are being well taken care of by empowering them, by making sure everybody is engaged. The stakeholders will be fully carried along in my administration, and in making sure that everybody is engaged and everybody is contributing meaningfully to the system. And most importantly, we'll make sure that every hardworking student are being rewarded. That is what I call the rewarding system. Let every hardworking student knows that there is something waiting for him at the end of his hard work. You cannot graduate with first class and still be roaming about the street looking for job. That won't happen under my leadership. We have a listening government. We have a listening minister, both the Ministry of Youth, the Ministry of Education. We have listening leadership right now in the country. So if the leadership of NANS want to make sure every first-class student in every institution is being rewarded, warmly rewarded and warmly engaged, so that what he acquire in school will still be used for the progress and development of the country. As my mantra said, exploration. We are going to explore every single opportunity in NANS for the benefit of the student and our stakeholders. Thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful, my brother. That's great. Wow. So I wish you luck. I don't want to take you too far. Um, but before we draw the curtain, I want to take you why this platform is bringing people like you to give you a voice globally. Now, Chinua says, if a foreigner tells your story, it will never end without prejudice. That is always better to tell your own story. So a lot of people tell stories about Africans, just like people talk about NANS, talk about Nigerian students. I decided in this platform to bring Nigerian students to tell their own story. Do you understand? So this
Yeah, but
platform mouthpiece for Africans and for people to tell their own stories the way it should be, and the original stories without adulteration. So eventually, this privilege has been given to you, and you have really told us your own story, and God will bless you. So all we ask is that you try to put action to whatever you say here. We wish you luck. We don't have anybody in mind. So, but whoever emerges is our own president. So that's the way we are. This is my own personal contribution to the growth of NAS. So, like every other person is making sacrifice. So, but before we drop down, draw the curtain for the day, I want to ask you to give a shout out to some senior comrades you respect and some other people like your father, your mother, whatever, whoever. Have the privilege, have the show. Give a shout out to whoever and appreciate those who have, in one way or the other, contributed to your growth right from beginning to this time.
firstly, I want to give a very big shout out to my parents, my mother, my father, for the privilege to come to this world. Because whatsoever thing we are recording as success today, if they didn't bring us to this world, we will still be there. A very big shout out to our leader, the senior special assistant to the president on student engagement, Honorable Sunday Adedayo Ashafo, to the president of NANS, Comrade Loki Monofe, the Senate president of NANS, right, Senator Akinte Abatunde, to my leaders in Zone C, the chairman stakeholders forum, Comrade Nadeko, Comrade Melega, Babakaska, Leader Big Jed, Malik and Hafsan Insuk, Obande Gideon, Leader Mario, Automatic, my own leader from Kwara, JJ, my leader Mexico, and our stakeholders, Agba Haruna Kadiri, Babalolo, the SA Political to the Minister of Defense, and a lot of them out there that deserve to be acknowledged. I'm not neglecting anybody, but a very big shout out to all our progressive stakeholders, to all our national stakeholders of NANS. A very big shout out to our student union government president, the zonal coordinators of NANS, the national executives of NANS, the leadership of the sister unions, the universities, the polytechnic, and the college education leadership, the the female students, NFSAN, ANFS, and all structures of NANS. A very big shout out and appreciation to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A very big shout out to the King of Boys, Barrister Sheyi Tinubu. A very big shout out to our workaholic Honorable Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande. To my dynamic Executive Secretary of NCC, Professor Kwele, and all wonderful vice chancellors, rectors, provosts across all our institutions. I said a very big kudos to everybody. And with this, I thank Almighty God for this opportunity. I thank CHINEDU ANICHI TV for this wonderful opportunity to air out our plans and our view on how to move our dear country Nigeria forward, because whatsoever thing we are doing today, it has direct effect, either directly or indirectly, on the development of our dear nation Nigeria. And as progressive and positive-minded Nigerians, we are not going anywhere. We will all be here to make sure we have the country of our own and of the greatest Nigerian students. Articulate Koba. Shout out to entire Nigerian students, both home and diaspora. Thank you all. God bless you all. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. I'm not hearing you, sir. You're not.
Oh, sorry about that. So I appreciate your rhetoric prowess. I appreciate the gift of God that you have put in service to humanity from onset to where you are today. I know God will take you far. So keep flying the flag of authentic nationality and patriotism when Nigeria, as far as Nigeria is concerned. So be the proud African voice you are, and that's why we brought you to this show. So be the light on the hill that can never be put under a bushel. So today, as you go down from this show, we hope to bring you back one day and celebrate you in the other side of success, even if it's not as NANS president, as something bigger than who you are today. So that's our prayers, and we know we'll be alive to celebrate you. And finally, what will you tell your followers about CHINEDU ANICHI TV, the African voice in diaspora?
Yeah, good. I urge all my followers to follow, like, share, and enjoy the CHINEDU ANICHI TV, the voice of us, all of us in Africa, and a global voice to the entire African globally. Well, we need more of CHINEDU ANICHI TV to make sure the voice of the entire Africa is heard globally. Kudos to CHINEDU ANICHI TV. We appreciate you, and we say may God Almighty continue to be your strength. May God Almighty take CHINEDU ANICHI TV to be a global TV that everybody all over the world will want to follow. So my followers, my people, Nigerian students, follow, share, like CHINEDU ANICHI TV. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mohammed. Today we have Comrade Mohammed, Director of FC to the NAS President and NAS Presidential Aspirant for the next convention, okay, that's going to take place in Abuja. So he's here. When he's not here for campaign, we just invited him for interview and for him to share his experience. He has gathered all this time that he has been putting in a lot of service to Nigerian students in different levels. So we appreciate you. And also, my people, check out to his. I want you to mention mention your social media handles so that people can go and follow you too and find out who you are. You have spoken so well. A lot of big people watch my show and they would like to get to you. So say one or two things about your handles so that those who want to meet you after this can contact you.
You can follow me on Facebook. Mahmoud Abubakar is the name. My Instagram, Mahmoud Abubakar is the name. My Twitter at Moodmanyos. I think my Instagram, my Facebook, all is Mahmoud Abubakar. So you can follow me on all my social media and then let's explore the world.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. My people, you can see today we have Comrade Abubakar, and Comrade Abubakar has really represented himself, his family, and Nigerian students very well. For those of you who will be sincere, you see the articulation, you see the oratic prowess, and the pitch of voice that that represents leadership. You know, sometimes in our Igbo adage, they will say, what it means is that from the cheeks, you can say this one will turn to hen or this one will turn to cock. I know in Nigeria one day you will turn to cock. You will crow, and Nigerians will know that they have a gift in you. God bless you, and God bless you, and thank you for coming. Hello, my people. You have seen Mohammed, and he has done the needful. We will still be bringing one or two people in different sets of life to talk to you. Remember, on Instagram, CHINEDU ANICHI TV, on YouTube, CHINEDU ANICHI TV, on Facebook, CHINEDU ANICHI TV, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, every day, 1 p.m. Central American time. Please, let's always check in here and listen to those our wonderful guests. God bless you. God bless you, and God bless you again. See you tomorrow.